Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hello students, welcome to today's online class. Today I'm going to start a new lesson from our geography part, resources. What are resources? In our daily life, we are using different things, from toothpaste to our clothes, shelter, and plants, agricultural products, animals, everything we are using. The things which we are using to satisfy our need is a resource to us. From minerals to land we are using for cultivation, it is a resource. Water is also a precious resource to us. Air we breathe, resource. So in one word, we can say that anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource to us. See here children, anything that can be used to satisfy our need is a resource. A resource is a source or supply from which benefit is produced. For example, land, minerals, air, etc. From your textbook part, Mona and Raju were helping Amma to clean their house. Look at all these things in your house. Clothes, utensils, whatever you are using, food grains, comb, bottle of honey, books. Each of these has a use. Yes, sir. Yes. Everything we are using, many products we are using in our regular life. That is why they are important, said Amma. These are resources. What is a resource was Raju's questions too. Why we are using, from where we are getting these all the products is a question here. So what are the products we are getting? Are using from different resources. Some we are getting from natural resources, some we are getting from the minerals. Everything is a natural resource. Whatever the product we are present using is made from different resources only. For example, our doors made up of iron is made with iron ore. Iron we are getting from the soil. Yes, everything, whatever the product we are getting, milk we are getting from buffaloes, honey we are getting from honeybees, food grains by the crops, utensils, combs made up of plastic made up of different mixing of minerals. So everything whatever we are using, that which satisfy our need, it is a resource to us. Understood? Look around you and observe. You will be able to identify many types of resources. The water we drink whenever we are thirsty. The electricity, without electricity we can't stay 1 minute even, because we are addicted to that type of luxurious life. The rickshaw used to go to home or to school. Vans we are using present to go to school is made up of iron, rubber and other plastic. So everything we are getting from the natural resources only. Yes or no? See here, this is a beautiful location here. It is a natural resource. The lake and the trees in the picture are examples of natural resources because they support animal and plant life. Many natural resources can't be replaced once they are used up. Conservation is the protection and wise use of natural resources so that they can support life on earth far into the future. So the resource which satisfy our needs is a resource to us. We are using many resources, but we have to know the value of our resources. How to know the value? See, the purely economic value of a resource is controlled by supply and demand. Means what is the production, how much we need, demand. That is what we call as a supply and demand. Yes, I know. So whenever the supply and demand automatically depend on each other, the economic value of the product or the resource also depends upon the supply and demand. However, a narrow perspective on resources, there are many things that cannot be measured in money. For example, natural resources like forest, mountains, etc. are considered beautiful, so they have aesthetic value. Not economic value, aesthetic value, the great value to the nation's economy. Resources also have an ethical value as well, because it is widely recognized that it is our moral duty to protect and conserve them for the future generations. See here, resources have the economic value, resource have the aesthetic value, and resource have the human ethical value, because we have to protect our natural resources for our future generations. It is our minimum responsibility to protect our natural resources. What are the main characteristics of resources? Resources have three main characteristics. The first one is utility, second one is quantity, and third one is consumption. What is meant by utility? Is the resource is useful to any people, in what way? That is utility. Quantity, how much quantity we need. For example, we need how much water, how many houses, or how much quantity of vegetables or any other ingredients. Everything we are measuring with quantity. How much available to us, availability. And the consumption, how we are consuming them, utilizing them. So this is consumption, how these are useful to us, how we are using. That is consumption. And potential for depletion and consumption. So the total value of the resource is potential for depletion, and consumption is known as resources. Water, electricity, rickshaw, vegetables, and textbook, what we are using in our regular life, they have all been used by us, so they have utility. Utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. These all have the utility. Utility or usability is what makes an object a substance or resource. How we are using our books, how rickshaw is useful to us, and how vegetables we are using. Every point of view, if the product is useful to us, that substance we call as resource. How does something become a resource? Raju now wanted to know. Amma told the children that things become resources only when they have a value. Its use or utility gives it a value. So whenever we are using those substances, then only the value applies to the product, what we call as utility. All resources have some value, said by Amma. Value means worthful. How valuable to your mother? So you are a great valuable resource to your mother. Means it has a great value. Some resources have economic value, just now I explained. Some do not. For example, metals may have economic value. Beautiful landscape may not, but it gives a lot of happiness to the visitors. But both are important and satisfy human needs. Means some resources they have the economic value, some does not. Some resources can become economically valuable with time. For example, your grandmother's home remedies have no commercial value today. You know that every time whenever you got stomach pain or others, your grandmothers, they are suggesting some home remedies to you. But for that there is no commercial value. If we are getting the patent and sold by a medical firm tomorrow, they could become economically valuable. But formula is valuable. when we have the patent. What is meant by patent here? Patent means when we are getting exclusive rights on the product or the idea. That is what we call as patent. Means, for example, ikat sarees, Pochampalli ikat sarees. There they have for that design they have the patent. They got patent from the government of India, so that no other people have the right to imitate the designs of the ikat sarees. It's the same. That is what we call as patent. To sell any medical products, first they have to get the rights, patents from the government of India. Otherwise that medicine or drug not useful to them. There is no official permission to those all to sell in the market. So the two main factors that influencing our resources, what are they? Now the two main factors are time and technology. Time and technology. See here children, this formula. A substance can made as resource by using time and technology. For example, discovery of fire. Now everyone is cooking. Discovery of wheel. It made our transportation very easy than before. Converting water to electricity. That one also a resource. Now water is resource, a substance made as a resource like electricity. A substance will made as a resource as a for transportation facility, and the fire is useful for cooking. Everything or any substance by using time and technology that convert that substance into resource. Time and technology, how this is useful? For example, both are related to the needs of the people. Time and technology means we need some more time. For example, earlier we have the black and mobiles due to the time and new invention of the technology. Now every one of us are using smartphones and mobiles, smart TVs included, isn't it? Yes, because how it is happened due to the time and new invention of the technology. People themselves are the most important resource. Who made these all substances into resource? We are the humans. Yes or no? People themselves are the most important resource, because by using our knowledge, by using our ideas, we converted all the substances into resource. We invented many things, and we discovered many things. See, routes to the new nations are the invention of the bulb, invention of the telephones, everything, vaccinations, everything. It is possible only because of the ideas and knowledges of the human. So that human itself a great resource. So that humans we call as human resource, because each discovery or invention leads to many others. The discovery of fire led to the practice of cooking, and the invention of the wheel ultimately resulted in development of the new modes of transportation. Yes or no? So these are the main important things, time and technology, which made our substance into a great resource to us. Natural resources. In your class site, natural resources we can classify into 4 types. The first one is biotic, another one is abiotic, renewable and non-renewable. In today's class, I am going to explain about these 4 biotic, abiotic, renewable and non-renewable resources and their features. What is the first one? Natural resource. Second one, human resource. Third one, human-made resources. Now, in our class, we are discussing only about natural resources. See here, a very valuable one. A child is very valuable one to the mother. So I am a great resource to, yes, you are the great valuable resources to your parents. You are the precious diamonds to them, because every hope of them belongs to you. Every work they are doing for you, because you are very great, valuable, precious thing to them. Here one small activity children for you. Try to do this activity. Here all the things is given: cotton, iron, intelligence, medicine, plants, a list of goods are here. So what you have to do here, circle the resources from Amma's list that have no commercial value. So which don't have economical value in this, you can identify and write it in your homework book. Resources are mainly three types. One is natural resource, another one human made resource, and another one human resources. First one, natural resource. Resources what we are getting from the nature and used without much modification are called natural resources. For example, air we breathe, no modification, directly we are taking our air from the air. And the water in our rivers we are consuming, not processing anymore. And lakes, soils, minerals are all natural resources. Many of these resources are free gifts of nature and can be used directly, like sun rays. In some cases, tools and technology may be needed to use a natural resource in the best possible way. Understood? These are the main resources what we have present, are called as natural resources. The resources which we drawn from the nature without paying any money, without in more processing or modification is called natural resources. These natural resources again classified on the basis of the level or development and use. Second one, originality. Third one, stock. Fourth one, distribution. So naturally, these natural resources can be classified into four types. One is use and development, another one originality, third one stock, and the distribution. So we will see what is based on the nature, use, originality. On the basis of development and use, natural resources can be classified into four parts. I said in that first part, on the basis of development and use, these are two types: actual resources and potential resources. On the basis of development, these are two types: one is actual resources and the one is potential resources. Here there is no confusion, children. Mainly our resources can be classified into three types: natural resources, human resources, and human made resources. In that I'm saying about natural resources. Natural resources again classified into four types on the basis of usage, originality, stock, and distribution. In that first part, on the status of the development and use, again it can be classified into two types: potential resource and actual resource. First one is actual resource. Actual resources are whose quantity is known exactly. Whose quantity is known exactly is called actual resources. These resources are being used in the present. The rich deposits of coal in Ruhr region of Germany and petroleum in the West Asia, the dark soils of the Deccan Plateau in Maharashtra are all some actual resources. For example, we know exactly how much quantity we have, how to use those resources. You see here, this is Ruhr Valley in German. It is very famous for coal deposits. Exactly we know how much coal is available, and exactly we know we have the technology to utilize that coal. Here, these are some oil wells in West Asia. Oil means petroleum. In West Asia, they know they have the technology how to extract the petroleum from the ocean. And here this is our Deccan Plateau area. Number of minerals are included in our Deccan Plateau area of Maharashtra. Understood? So these are the very few which we know as the actual resources. these are very useful to us because we have the technology how to use, we know where it is exactly, so that exactly we can extract that actual resource, and we are using the resources, so that it is called as the actual resource. What is the second one? Second one is potential resources. In this one, a potential, so which quantity we don't know exactly, where, in which area we don't have any technology how to utilize, how to extract them. See, these type of resources we call as potential resources. The level of technology we have at present may not be advanced enough to easily utilize these resources. The uranium found in Ladakh is an example of potential resource that could be used in the future. So this is the uranium mines here, children observe, in Ladakh, because that Ladakh is a cold desert. So all these resources under the desert, and we don't know how much exactly we have the uranium found in Ladakh, and we don't know how to extract from the desert area. That technology not available for present generations, so that it may useful for future generations. These kind of we called as potential resources. And one more example, wind farms, especially if you observe in mm, uh, the desert area, we have plenty of winds, but we don't know how to extract that wind into energy. Due to that is very expensive, maybe present that technology is not available with us, so that it is also a potential. We have the availability, but we don't know how to use. That is potential resources. Okay. In one shot, what is meant by actual resource? Resources whose quantity is known and used in present. For example, rich deposits of coal in rural region of Germany. And potential resources, resources whose quantity is not known and used in the future generations. Example, high-speed winds were a potential resource 200 years ago. Today they are actual resource, and wind farms generate energy using windmills like in Netherlands, but present is not available in our country due to the lack of technology and investment. Next one, natural resources on the basis of origin, two types: biotic resources and abiotic resources. On the basis of originality, resources are two types. First one is biotic, another one is abiotic. Biotic resources, as you know that, which have life or which formed from the living things, is called as biotic. On the basis of originality, biotic is trees, animals are the examples for biotic research. Means which have the life. Already you learned from your previous classes onwards what is meant by living things. Biotic means nothing but living things only. Living organism all comes under biotic resources. And next one is abiotic resources. Abiotic resources means which don't have life. For example, stone, charcoal, petroleum, building, or any vehicle. So these all the things are the resources, but that resources there is no life. So thus these type of resources we call as abiotic resources. Next, on the basis of exhaustibility. Exhaustibility means once we completed the usage, certain resources we can be renewable again, but certain resources not able to regenerate again. So which is flexible for regenerate or the renewable resources. For example, uh, water, forest area, wind energy, solar energy, and wildlife, everything which has life, these are renewable resources. Understood? And but water and buffer water no life, and wind energy no life, but we have plenty of resources we can regenerate again and again. Understood? And in this renewable resources again in divided into two types. One is continuous flow, and the one is biological sources. What is continuous flow? which we are available continuously: solar energy, wind energy, and water. We are getting plenty of. Understood? These are ubiquitous, so that we call as continuous or flow. And the one is biological, which has the life, natural vegetation, forest area, and then wildlife. We have the life, and these are renewable resources. So if once one animal died, we have the plenty of same species. We can regenerate the more species by using one animal. So these are renewable resources only. And the basis of exhaustibility, one more, non-renewable resources. In this non-renewable resources formed over a substantially long geological time. For example, minerals, coal, iron, gold, or fossil fuels. It need a million years of time. It is not able to regenerate very quickly. So that non-renewable resources. Next, coming to the non-renewable resources classification. These are two types again: recyclable, non-recyclable. Recyclable and non-recyclable. Recyclable are metals, for example, coal, iron, not coal, iron, gold. These are recyclable. If once we used, again we can recycle that product. Again we regenerate the new product, like metals, iron, coal, this type of. Understood? And then non-recyclable means fossil fuels, which cannot be recycled and get exhausted with their use. So once the petrol in our bike completed, is it possible to regenerate? No. That is what we called as non-recyclable resources. Once we complete the usage, then there is no chance to regenerate. Next, these non-renewable resources are those which have a limited stock. Stock is very limited. We cannot regenerate again. So that these type of resources we call as non-renewable resources. To regenerate also, it takes thousands of years to regenerate. It is not possible in a quick period of time. What is the fourth one? On the basis of distribution. On the basis of distribution, ubiquitous and localized resources. Ubiquitous means continuous flow, like air, light, water, abundantly available to us. These are ubiquitous resources. Next one, localized resources. Localized are those that can be found only in certain parts of the world. For example, Deccan Plateau area. Iron ore, black soil of the Deccan soil only available in Deccan terrain, like thermal power plants or iron ores, copper ore, iron ore. These are not available everywhere. Localized, a particular part of the nation or the state very famous for certain type of the minerals, means those resources available only in that particular area. That is localized resources. On the basis of distribution of the local resources, these are two types. One is ubiquitous resource and the one is localized resources. So to overall, these natural resources can be classified into four types, children. The first one is biotic and abiotic. On the basis of exhaustibility, renewable and non-renewable. And on the basis of distribution, ubiquitous and localized resources. That is about resources and the classification of the resources, children. While listening, open your textbook. Don't forget to follow the textbook so that you can easily understand the topic very quickly. Hmm. Okay, Hari Om, children. Stay home, stay safe. Okay, if you are stay home, you will get good health, children. Don't roam here and there unnecessarily. Take care of your health and your family members also, children. Hari Om. Thank you.